Justifying factors. Regardless of the vehicle that they have, you have to get your point across that a liability policy is not based on the car. Now, you're going to have a few situations where customers are going to tell you, look, I'm driving a 1975, a 1980, a 1990. This vehicle is worth $500. I don't want to invest money on a vehicle that's worth $500. Might as well drive without insurance. $60, $70 a month, $80 a month through the course of the year. I'm paying more on insurance than the value of the car. This is a common objection when we talk about the rate and them understanding exactly what they're obtaining. See, it's not so much about the price being an issue. The biggest issue is the knowledge and the information that they have. Someone never did their job to emphasize, to educate them on the whole concept of a liability policy. No one gave them the information of what a liability policy covers. No one gave them the information of the benefits of having insurance and what the actual policy is going to offer. No one gave them that information. No one gave them any type of information, and therefore they feel that the liability may be connected to the value of the car. So you're going to educate them, and you're going to tell them that regardless of the car, it doesn't matter if it's a 1950, a 1930, or which is a classic vehicle, or a 1999 or a 2019. It doesn't matter what type of vehicle it is as far as the year of the vehicle. What matters is the actual policy and the limits that they're offering. So you're going to educate them that it doesn't matter what type of vehicle they're insuring. What matters is the actual liability coverages. You're going to emphasize on the fact that they're actually obtaining liability coverages. Now for liability, they're getting limits of $15,000 per person, up to $30,000 for medical expenses, and $5,000 for property damage. So that means that if they create an accident or they cause an accident, the insurance company is going to pay up to $30,000 for medical payments and up to $5,000 for property damage. So they're actually obtaining a policy that's worth $35,000. So it doesn't really matter the type of vehicle, the year of the vehicle, at least for this segment. That doesn't matter. What matters is that they're actually leaving with a total of up to $35,000 worth of limits. So if something happens, the insurance company is not going to tell them, look, well, you're only insuring a car that's worth $500, so we're only going to cover $500 worth of damages. No, they're going to cover up to the limits of the policy. So within this justifying scenario or justifying segment, your goal is to really educate them that they're actually getting $35,000 worth of coverages, $35,000 worth of limits. So if something happens, it doesn't really matter what vehicle they have. What matters is that they have what the law requires. The law requires to have 15, 30, and 5. Those are the limits that the law requires every driver to have on their policy. So if something happens, it doesn't matter what vehicle they have, what vehicle they're insuring. What matters is that the insurance company is going to keep their word, is going to guarantee, is going to offer the coverages up to $15,000 per person, up to $30,000 per accident, and $5,000 for property damage. So it's very important to get that point across, because if not, customers are going to try to make their decisions based on the value of the car, which has nothing to do with the actual concept of liability. So educate them on this, keep this in mind, emphasize, elaborate on the fact that $15,000 per person, up to $30,000, and $5,000 for property damage. You need to sell the idea that those $35,000 is technically what they're obtaining, and therefore that $60 to $70 that they're going to pay a month or $100 a month is going to give them the value of $35,000 worth of coverage.